Gee whiz! I don't know what all the fuss is about Masters of the Universe Revelations. It's not woke at all. It's the greatest thing ever. Just a lot of action and adventure and excitement. Ooh, I just love it. I can't wait for any more.
Shut the fuck up! What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And let me tell you something, guys. I saw Masters of the Universe Revelation a couple of days ago, and I just chilled. I didn't make a video about it because my son was home, and I don't like to start ranting and raving and, quite frankly, cussing when my son is home. So I relaxed, and in that time, I was hoping that maybe I would calm down off of this, but no, not at all. This is an offense. This is a slap in the face. It's a tragedy. It's a lie that Kevin Smith told, an actual lie, and I haven't even been following this bullshit story, since it got started, but I do understand that Kevin Smith tries to pass himself off as one of you. I'm just one of you. I'm a fan like one of you. Oh my God, I can't believe I made it, and I get backstage, and I get to see all of these productions before they're over, and they're all so beautiful, it makes me cry. I'm Kevin Smith, and I'm one of you, and I can promise you that He-Man is not going to get sidelined in his own show. Fuck if he lied. He lied. That's all that happened. He-Man, as a matter of fact, this show exists to shit on He-Man. All right, it exists to shit on his fans. You don't even have to be a fan. I don't consider myself some super fan from back in the day. Yes, I had the toys and shit, but it wasn't like a Star Wars thing to me. You know what I mean? It's not like I've been waiting for decades to see whatever happened to He-Man. No, it wasn't about that. You know what I mean? But here it is. I still feel like I've been slapped in the face. I can't believe. I felt like I got. If anyone saw that old movie with Charlton Heston, Ben-Hur, when my man gets trampled over by the chariots and he's all torn up and shit. That's how I felt after watching these 5 episodes. Well, why did you watch the 5 episodes, Mark? Well, I was bored, number one, and number two, I just knew the shit was going to turn around. You know what I mean? Because I can tell you this, right? The show is pleasing to the eye. After about a decade of seeing shit like Thundercats Roar and Teen Titans Go, which I don't mind, by the way, Teen Titans anyway. But after about a decade of seeing that crazy, ridiculous, infantile, silly-looking animation, looking at Masters of the Universe, just looking at it, you were like, okay, we're coming back around. I like the look of this, right? So I'm like, okay, let's see what's going on. Besides, Kevin Smith is a fan. He's one of us. We can trust him. He cries to get backstage access, right? He can't be a shill. No. So when you saw that he was writing and producing and all over the internet saying about his involvement in all of this, you're like, well, what could possibly go wrong? So I sat there, right? And I watched this thing, right? And I'm like, it'll turn around, but after a while I was just like, you know what, the shit's not going to turn around, but I'm going to do a video about this. So let me see how the shit plays out, right? Now I'm watching it just on that level where, I got to at least know a little bit about what I'm talking about, but I'm not even going to get so much into the plot because the plot is bullshit, okay? The only thing this exists for is to prop up Teela, right? And to put down He-Man. That's all it's there for, and it's called Masters of the Universe. I'll give them that they had the actual balls to take He-Man's name off of it so they can say, well, we said it was Masters of the Universe. We didn't say it was about He-Man. All right, touche, motherfucker. All right, fine. Okay, so there it is, Masters of the Universe. But still, you don't have to shit on He-Man in order to prop up Teela. This is what we've been saying for the longest. You don't have to kill the legacy characters or disgrace them just to prop up the characters that you want to prop up. In this case, it just so happens that most of the time they're going to prop up the marginalized, the black characters, the gay characters, the women characters. Let's just give them a boost up on the backs of the legacy characters that just so happen to be white and not give any respect to those characters. So that's my problem right there, okay? Because clearly from the opening scene, it starts off being Teela's story. She's badass. She's standing around with her arms crossed and everything. Prince Adam is in the back acting like a little biatch. You know what I mean? But okay, it's Prince Adam. Once he puts his little dick up in the air, he's going to turn into He-Man. And then He-Man is He-Man. But of course, He-Man in this day and age it's threatening. You know, first of all, his name is He-Man. Two things that are identified to be toxic in today's society. It would have been different if it was She-Woman, right? But no, He-Man, you knew he was going to have to go. And go he did. Like I said, not even getting into the plot because fuck the plot. You can imagine what ended up happening. He-Man, they gave him some paper-thin little sacrifice to make for all of eternity, right? So he mixes it up with Skeletor and ends up giving his life to save everybody. Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at the sunrise. Okay, so there, He-Man is fucking gone, right? So no sooner than He-Man is gone, right? They had this little celebration for Teela, of course, right? So they're having a celebration for Teela, and unfortunately, there's this little inconvenience, like He-Man's death, that fucks it up. And in an instant, like 1 minute, it's fireworks and everyone's all happy and everyone's all proud to be who they are. Teela's acting like she cares about being Man-at-Arms, and her duty and her responsibility. She's ready to do this in the blink of an eye. It's like the movie Carrie, when the blood bucket pours down all over everybody. All of a sudden, somebody pours a bucket of soy all over this shit, right? And everybody, all of a sudden, He-Man has not been dead for maybe 30 seconds, and everybody makes it about them. All right, it starts off, right, when they find out that He-Man is dead. Okay, the king gets up there. People of the realm, He-Man, Eternia's champion, is dead. We will honor He-Man. Excuse me, sire. He-Man was your son Adam. What the fuck? I'll kill every last one of you motherfuckers. Get out. Everybody get out. I don't give a shit. What, you want some? You can get some. You stand right there. Now he's going crazy, right? Now, and then Man-at-Arms, he threatens to kill Man-at-Arms if Man-at-Arms doesn't leave, all right? Because now he's found out that He-Man is Prince Adam, his son. Now all of a sudden it's no longer He-Man gave his life for the realm. Now it's like, how the fuck couldn't you tell me about this, right? So he's mad at Man-at-Arms. Man-at-Arms has got like about 2 seconds to get the fuck out before he beheads him. His daughter Teela is standing there, and he's like, Teela, get this sack of shit out of here. Teela turns around and says, you know what? I quit. To hell with all of you. All of a sudden, it's about everybody else in the room. Never mind, the He-Man is dead. Eternia's champion has given his life, and Prince Adam has given his life. Nobody takes a second to stop and think about what the burden that this man has been carrying all these years. All it matters is that my feelings are hurt, and fuck Eternia and everybody else, right? So what's her name? We don't know what happens with the family. We don't know what happens with Man-at-Arms in that particular moment. But Teela bounces, right? She decides she's going to take off her little headpiece, and, she throws it on the floor. She takes her sword and throws it on the floor. I thought she was going to take off her clothes. I was hoping she was going to take off her clothes. Let's see what that ass do, Teela. But no, I guess this is the wrong kind of show. But she starts stripping for some reason, and she leaves, all right? And then she goes and does what most distraught, strong, empowered women do these days, or she does what they do in 21st century Earth. In Eternia, she does this. She goes and shaves half her head and gets herself a black woman sidekick. And then they go trouncing off, not having sex together because they don't want to commit to what they imply, okay? So then they go off, right? And somehow they're joined by Skeletor's side piece, right? Because Skeletor's gone now too, right? So they're joined by Skeletor's Evil Lyn, right? And actually, Evil Lyn should have been voiced by Mary J. Blige, I felt like, because she starts going on and on and on about how, she was disillusioned, she helped Skeletor, to come up, but she should have been coming up because she was just as good as Skeletor, so why should she give all of her energy to a man? And like I said, they should have called her Evil Lyn Blige, I was your lover and your secretary, working every day of the week. When I was at your job when no one else was there, helping you get on your feet. 11 years I sacrificed, and you could leave me at the drop of a dime. Swallow my tears, swallow my pride. I should have left your ass 1,000 times. Hey. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to shed no tears. No, I'm not going to cry another time because you're not worth my... tears. Okay, so that was Evelyn Blanche. Okay, so she's walking around talking about, yeah, but I wasn't the only one, Tila. You were in love with He-Man. You wanted that He-Man bone, you know what I mean? But, you know, so they're bonding in that way, right? And they're feeling the Bechdel test all over the place, or whatever that's called, where two women can't be in the same scene without talking about a man. That's all they did, was talk about a man. And along the way, they go and hook up with some other monstrosity, right? They hook up with some robot, right? That looks like a cross, Roboto, I think his name. You know, looks like a cross between Iron Man, Snake Eyes, and he sounds like Data, you know, from Star Trek, you know. So, you know, he's doing all of this bullshit and he's talking all of this nonsense or whatever. They're going on having these adventures and getting themselves in trouble. And every time they get in over their head, Man-at-Arms shows up. Like, I guess he's just like sitting up on a mountain just waiting, you know, to swoop in and save the day. Every time they get into a problem, you know, here is Tila trying to be her own woman and everything. And every time she fucks up, here comes Daddy to help her. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it goes on like that for something like 3 or 4 episodes. And then they finally run into Prince Adam, right? Like I said, who gives a shit about the plot? They end up in heaven or something like that, in the afterworld or something. So they meet, you know, some black dude and, you know, some other people up there, and they give a lot of jokes about how they call Prince Adam Wee Man. They should have just called him PP Man, but they have a lot of jokes at Prince Adam's expense. You know what I mean? So I'm sure Kevin Smith and his little, you know, peons or whatever, they had a bunch of, you know, a lot of fun, you know, doing that, you know, just laughing at the shit, you know what I mean? You know, plus, you know, what else did they do? They put in like little jokes here. I believe there was a reference to No Glove, No Love or something like that. Like, you know, for people who are saying that this shit is not woke, you know what? Okay, fine. Okay, it's not woke. As a matter of fact, you're not woke. You're asleep. You got to see what's in front of your very face, man. There's a such thing as subtext, and this shit was dripping with subtext. It was all over the place. Okay, not to mention He-Man, okay? You know, they say that Prince Adam was in heaven as Prince Adam because he forsook the He-Man persona. He chose to be Prince Adam in heaven and not He-Man. And they made it a point of saying he's the only one up here who chose to be his weaker self. And so we call him Wee-Man. All right, so they meet up with Prince Adam, right? And it gets to the point where something happens. You know, I don't give a fuck about spoilers. You know something? I'm gonna put it in the thumbnail, whatever. Spoiler alert, okay? They managed to kill Orko. You know, they give him some like really pathetic backstory about, you know, he was Oracle, and you know, he was kind of like the retard of Orcos and stuff. So, you know, they kind of rejected him, and, you know, he's going to have to do this, and he's bonding with Evelyn Blanche, and, you know, I don't know if they were going to sleep together or what was happening, but before they could, he ended up having to sacrifice himself, okay? So Orko is fucking dead, all right? Orko. Never really gave a shit about Orko, but I'm pretty sure this wasn't honoring his legacy to do him this way, but Orko is fucking gone, all right? So you got Prince Adam. Like I said, they come up to Prince Adam. Prince Adam is chilling in heaven. They give a lot of explanations about why he shouldn't go back, because after all, it's paradise, and he has earned this as He-Man, defending the universe for so long. Now he can rest, all right? But for some reason, Prince Adam decides he's going to go back down to Eternia with Tila because they just need him so badly, right? So they explain to Prince Adam that if you go, you'll never be able to come back. In other words, you know what I mean? You go down there, deal is off. You only get to forsake heaven one time. Prince Adam says, I fucking know that. I'm going anyway, right? So I'm like, okay, well, things are going to turn around because he's going to be He-Man. He-Man didn't get sidelined for long anyway. He's coming back, right? So, okay, let's see where this shit goes, right? So, Prince Adam goes back to Eternia. I shit you not, within maybe 15 seconds of him putting his toe on the ground, he gets fucking shanked from behind by Skeletor. Okay, he gets ran through with a spear. He's down, and he looks like he should be dead. Okay, I don't know if they confirmed it, they didn't call it, but he got ran straight through. Okay, as he was raising his sword to say, by the power of blah! Right through the back and out through the other side. There's Prince Adam laying on the ground, bleeding out. And that's the end of it all, guys. Like I said, the robot also gave his life at some point, Roboto and everything. So, that was that, okay? So, there it is, guys. I mean, basically, that's what they gave us with the first 5 episodes. Okay, so as you can see, the revelation here, when it says Masters in the Universe revelation, the big revelation is that Kevin Smith is a lying sack of shit, okay? And this is one of those overblown vanity projects, all right? I can say that this looks great. The animation looks great. You know what I mean? Everything, the illustrations and everything, the music. I think, what gets me here is that this is probably the best example, the best illustration, no pun intended, yet that a good looking show can be, and even a good, scored show, music and all that stuff. It's a great illustration of how all of those things can add up and it can still be derailed by wokeness. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there, man. It's like you see they're trying to be gritty. They throw in some hells. They throw in some dams, a little bit of innuendo here and there and everything. You can see that somebody somewhere is trying to be cutting edge, but you just have to, in your mind, remember that there's an agenda that's here. You have to please the feminists. You have to please everybody else on the outside of the fandom. They have to see something that makes them smile too. And I could just feel it. It's like it's dripping all over this thing, man. You know what I mean? And I think that's what pissed me off more than anything in the world. Like, it could have been great. You can see where it could have been great. You can feel where it could have been great. But every few steps, they gotta throw in the agenda. They gotta throw in the disrespect. They gotta throw in the subversion of expectations. Every few steps, you feel it. You feel them smacking you down. Oh, you want this? No. Oh, you want He-Man back? Okay, we'll let you believe he's coming back. Then no. You want this character? No. And it keeps on going on and on and on, guys. It's all over this. It's the most interesting shit in the world. If you just look at it. And then you realize, like I said, Kevin Smith, so-called fanboy and all that stuff, and his people, they're there in a vacuum where nobody stops to think, who would want to see it this way? Why would anybody want to see it this way who's familiar with the old shit? Now, I know that there's some people out there they're loving it. Like I said before, this can do no wrong. It looks great and everything. It's exciting. There's adventure. Like I said, I'll give it all of that. But you can't have this air of disrespect for what came before that's running over it this way. My mind is blown, guys. My mind is blown. I wish that I did videos where it was scripted. I would mauler the shit out of this. I would critical drinker the fucking shit out of this. But I make it a point to just come off the top, so that's what I do. But guys, there's so many different ways that this fails. And like I said, this is just the latest. So for everyone who sees these trailers, right? And when we see the little signs of where it can go wrong, everyone who comes back at, you know what, you didn't even watch it yet. Why can't you just give it a try? This is what we're talking about, guys. This is like years of this kind of thing by now. They keep on picking up things from the past that people like us remember, and they keep fucking it up. So we can't be apprehensive about that. We can't call it when we see it. No, that doesn't work. This doesn't work. You got to listen to the fans at some point, if you're going to blame us, for the failure of it. And that's what they do. And that's what's going to happen here. So anyway, guys, that's it for me. I want you guys to tell me, what did you think about this? If you liked it, that is fine. You don't need to be coming in here disrespecting me. I didn't say anything about you personally. I talked about how I felt about this shit right here. All right. So you can get in the comment section and share that, but please try to keep that in mind. Okay. No need for personal attacks. All right. So anyway, guys, as always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. And as always, you can catch me on Twitter. If not, I will see you on the next one. We'll be talking about this more, I'm sure, on the Dark Council this coming Tuesday. Probably, I think it's on Abu Nas's channel, but we'll be giving everyone notice. So anyway, I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on. Fucking shit.